Gary, a 2-0 victory here in the FA Cup preliminary round, obviously, and at Silbey Rangers, lovely setup, but you've done what you needed to do today.
Yeah, I think you've pretty much summed it up there. We've done what we needed to do. When you come to lower league opposition, you know, who had a really good win in the FA Cup in the last round, you just don't want no stress there. You just don't want no controversy. You don't want a silly referee decision, want a moment of madness or a brilliant goal from one of their players. And you know, for 30 minutes, that was although that was 0-0. You know, that weren't. You know, we had loads of possession. Didn't do much with it, mind. Loads of possession, and then from their point of view, they'll probably be really disappointed with the 2 goals we got just before half time. And without being disrespectful, that sort of killed the contest as a contest. And we come out second half and we managed the game really well. But you got you know, the Silbey manager, I think, will be pretty pleased the way his lads stuck to the task, the way they worked hard, run around, putting the bodies on the line, 2-0 down on 80 minutes. That takes some doing. So fair play for them to keep going and keep believing. But we did look at times probably a level above, and that, you know, that is what it is. That is just the reality of the situation. But you know, if you conceded first here today and then they stick men behind the ball, that would have been a difficult afternoon. But we managed to get ourselves in front, got some minutes into lads who probably hadn't played as much as they wanted to in the first 2 games, and now we've got to pick a squad in the team to go to rugby on Tuesday.
Indeed, yeah, you've got to protect those players. You've used all your subs this afternoon, all the subs you used in the second half. A bit of a knock on Jack Keeble.
Yeah, a little bit. Connor weren't moving great at the end either, but listen, we feel like we've got a good squad. By changing the team today didn't affect the standard, the level of the team by any way, shape or form. We've got a really good squad. We've got players we can rely on. We've got players I know and can rely on. And hopefully we can take that into Tuesday night at rugby, which will be a real tough game. They've done really well at Wellingborough in the week. You know, they've got a good manager. You know, they've obviously got caught cold in the FA Cup, as did we last year. And then they picked up a good league win at Wellingborough, you know, who put a good side together this year. So at their place, they'll be looking for their first home win. And we've got to go there, roll the sleeves up and dig in and try and get a result.
2 players that have certainly stood out for the supporters have been the goalkeeper, Jake Laban, and your short midfielder, Jonesy. He seems to have, he just seems to be running all over the park, but he's come off with a bit of a knock today.
Yeah, listen, the lad's 16 years old, so, you know, he's just started 3 games for us, you know, and the first game took a lot out of him. The second game, again, you know, he's playing with no fear whatsoever, and he's running himself to the absolute maximum because he don't know any way else. He don't know how to take 5 minutes off here, 5 minutes off there. So that'll be my job to look after him, to make sure that he can keep playing at the level that he can play at. So there will be times in the season where he's dropped out and left out and come back fresh. But you know, when he's played 3 games now, he's been on the run, but he's got tired a little bit earlier each game because he's still got a young body. Plus, he plays football. He's at school or whatever it is he do. He's got that, but you know, he's enjoying himself. That's a joy to watch him play. I love watching him play, as do the fans. And I think, especially for Jake, the goalkeeper, I think when Ross left, everyone, you know, was worried about how we could replace him. And for Jake to get the plaudits off the fans so early, you know, because obviously Ross was a big part of what we done last year. I think that's credit to him. And for another young goalkeeper to come in with that maturity, to come to a big club like Corby and take over from a first-class goalkeeper in Ross, I think that just shows you how good Jake Laban is.
Short question, short answer, I reckon. Glad to be in the bag for Monday.
Yeah, just be glad to get a nice, you know, listen, I said to the boys before the game, you know, I know we're a level below them, but obviously what Kettering done last year, beating Northampton in the first round, and what Mitch done at Harbour, you know, arguably should have beat Reading in the second round to get in the third round. You know, there will be 1 or 2 teams from step 4 get to the 4th qualifying and first round. You know, why can't it be us with a bit of luck with a draw, bit of 1 or 2 special performances, and you know, like I say, a few home draws. So hopefully we can get a nice draw at home, a winnable one. I think only step 3 come in. You know, what you don't want is one of the big hitters away, like a Harborough or something like that. So yeah, we'll see what happens on Monday. And like I say, hopefully we can get a tie where we've got a 50-50 chance of winning it.
Gary, appreciate your time. Thank you.